Hello, my friends, and welcome to Kurt Berglund's Baseball World. Today, I am premiering a game on my channel that I've had for quite a while, actually, about, I bet almost 5 years now. But I haven't used it on the channel. I used to be, when my mom was ill, I was her caretaker, and this was a game that I spent a lot of time with when we would sit together, and sometimes she'd be sleeping or whatever, and so I associate this with that time period. Haven't played it in a while. I've played a few sort of refresher games to get back in the groove. I really like it. The game is called Deep Drive, and I want to thank my good friend Tony Porter for putting it on his channel and sort of reminding me that I have it and how much I enjoyed it. Now, I want to caution you about a couple things before we get into Deep Drive. The first thing is that the game engine is fantastic, and I think that it plays smoothly. If you're in the mood for a new baseball sim, this might be it. The stats seem good. I've played probably 75 games of Deep Drive, somewhere in that ballpark. But, and here comes the but, internet guy, I know that when some of us go to the website and look up Deep Drive Baseball, and I'm going to put the link in the description for this video, internet guy is going to go, well, wait a minute, there's not every season offered. I can't buy it if it doesn't have every season offered. Yeah, put the gun down, internet guy, and play a fun game. Alright? That's all I can tell you. You're gonna find a season that intrigues you. The one that I picked, although there's a couple others I want to get, and I haven't done it yet, is the 2001 season. Now, if you're a Brewer fan, 2001 was very early in the Dean Taylor general management period, and he hired Davey Lopes to be the manager. Now, I am a big Davey Lopes fan in terms of his playing career. Boy, what a ball player that guy was. Did I mention I'm a big fan of his in terms of his playing career? Anybody out there? Managing didn't go so well, but 2001 team is a fun team. They had a horrible record, but there's a lot of fun players, and so that's why I like using this team with this game. So, with no further ado, I am very early in a replay that's going to take me forever to complete, but who cares? That's the fun of what we do. It's the Brewers and the Astros at Enron Field. Remember Enron Field? Yeah, that worked out pretty well. How about selling those naming rights to a company, huh? How's that working, Houston? All right, let's get to it. Today's starting lineups. For the Brewers today, Mark Loretta leads off at third base. Whoa, here we go. Ronnie Belliard, not my favorite Brewer of all time, bats second at second base. Jeff Jenkins bats third in left field. Richie Sexson bats fourth, he'll play first base. Jeremy Burnitz bats fifth, he'll be in right. Batting sixth, it's Jeffrey Hammonds in center field. Jose Hernandez bats seventh, he'll play short. Henry Blanco will bat eighth, and catch, and Jimmy Haynes will be on the mound for Milwaukee. He was 8-17 with a 4.85 earned run average in 31 games for the Brewers in 2001. For the Astros, your National League Central Division winners in 2001, Julio Lugo leads off at short. Craig Biggio bats second at second base. Jeff Bagwell bats third at first base. Lance Berkman bats fourth. He'll play left. Richard Hidalgo will bat fifth. He will play center field. Darrell Ward bats sixth. He'll play right. Brad Ausmus bats, Ward bats sixth. He'll be in right. Ausmus bats seventh. He'll catch. And Chris Truby will bat eighth. He'll play third base. On the mound, it's Shane Reynolds. For these Astros, he was 14-11 with a 4.34 earned run average in 2001. All right, so to play Deep Drive, I use dice that are a little bit different. We're using red, white, and blue. They're all D10s. This is a D10 that looks different, though, because it's got the 10s on it. And why do I use this with Deep Drive? I don't know. Do I have to? No. I could use any old D10. I'm going to read them in red, white, and blue order. So if they go like this, just so you know when you're looking in here, if I roll this, that's an 18. So hopefully that's very visible. And then this is kind of an indicator die that's used for a number of different things. We have the 50-50 system here. So we go 0 to 49 on the batter card, 50 to 99 on the pitcher card. The blue die is used to determine what the outs are going to be or some other things if we're looking at charts or something like that. The DD symbol is for a deep drive that goes into this box, either from the hitter's card or in the event that we go from the pitcher's card. When you see a red cross, that tells us that that is susceptible to the ballpark card, and so we're going to roll a D10 and refer to that ballpark card. Different ratings exist for different skills. Endurance for Shane Reynolds is an 11, and you subtract down from that. I'm trying to think. Status Pro kind of does a similar thing, although you subtract for different things in Status Pro than you do in Deep Drive. So it's not quite the same, but it's in that general concept. Range factors on defense, higher is better. So in Loretta's case here, his best defensive position in 2001 was apparently second base. Shortstop would have been his second best, and third base would have been his third best. All right, I think we're ready to go with some Deep Drive. You've got the basics. There's a couple charts, but the vast majority of the stuff we're looking at here is going to be read right off the cards. I'm zooming in here to give you a little bit better look at what's going on. Hopefully this will give you a better view of not only my dice, but also the cards. Card font is very, very readable. Team colors across the top. Everything is, my eyes, my friends, as you have talked about before, my eyes are horrible, and yet these are not a problem. So here we go with Mark Loretta against Shane Reynolds. All right, so we got a 40. That'll be on Loretta's card. That falls into the out range here. We look at the 5, and it's a ground ball. Excuse me. To Julio Lugo at short, and he's up with it and makes the throw to Jeff Bagwell at first base. And as soon as I find a pen that works, Loretta is going to be out 6-3. All right, Ronnie Belliard, who they called Belly, and I'll let you guess why, is up now. Reynolds winds and deals. That's a 64. Be on Reynolds' card, and there's a base hit. Ronnie Belliard with a single. Now that we should talk about that as well. If there's a runner on, then we identify where it is that the ball went and all that good stuff, and base runner advancement. 1 out, 1 on now for Jeff Jenkins, one of my top 3 favorite Brewers of all time, and I'm sure you care. Reynolds the stretch, and the delivery to Jenks is a 78. That's going to be in Reynolds' out range. The 9 modifier is hit in the air to center field. Richard Hidalgo, what happened to that guy? He makes the catch for out number 2, and it'll be Richie Sexson now. And I'm throwing dice all over my table. The pitch to Richie is a 59, and there's a base hit, a single plus. All right, now, on a single plus, we're going to look at runner advancement. We have one of our charts here now. We have to find Jeff Jenkins' running rating, which is blank, which means he's an average base runner. And then we refer to our runner advancement chart. And here's the blank, the average part. Very slow, slow, fast, very fast, and very fast plus. All right, so now we have Jenkins at second base, and we have a question mark. We have Sexson singling, single plus, and we have the question mark. So the question mark tells us that there is an opportunity for the base runner to advance. And let's look at what that would look. I'm not going to do it because I don't want Jenkins to be thrown out at third with 2 outs. It's kind of my thing. But let's look at that. The choice chart here is what we refer to. So what if I wanted Jenkins to try to go to third, I would roll the percentile dice and refer here. Now, the Astros manager would then have the decision to decide if he wanted to cut the throw off or not. Cutting it off would take these rolls, and you find out where the ball was hit by looking at your modifier die. 0 to 2, it's hit to left. 3 to 6, it's to center. 7 to 9 is right. So this particular hit is hit by Richie Sexson into center field. The 6 tells us that. I could try and push Jenkins to third. I'm not going to do it, but this is the procedure for doing it. You roll 2 percentile dice and look here. And there'd have to be a cutoff decision made on Sexson or he would advance. And that's it. That's all you do. So, I'm sorry, Belliard is the runner, not Jenkins. So, Belliard's at second, Sexton's at first, and now Jeremy Burnitz. Reynolds the stretch, and the pitch to Bernie is a 56, and there's a single plus. All right, so now we have the same situation, except a couple of things. One, the 4 tells us on the cutoff chart here that the throw goes to center field. Or the hit goes to center field. All right, so we look again. I don't know why I was talking about Jenkins before, but it's Belliard. VF is his running. He's a VF. And so what we do here is we look at the single plus with a VF. And the yes means the runner is going to advance and score on that play. It's 1-0 Milwaukee. I'm still not going to send Sexton to third with 2 outs. And so it'll be an RBI single for Burnitz. And the Brewers have a 1-0 lead. Here's Jeffrey Hammonds. Reynolds the stretch again and the delivery to Hammonds. And this is going to be a deep drive. So now we look at Hammond's deep drive chart. The DD on Reynolds' card tells us we're looking at Hammond's deep drive chart. So I'm going to roll these 2 dice. It's a 99, which ordinarily is a fly out deep to left, F7D. But we have a red cross here. And so we're going to look at our ballpark card and roll our D10. If I roll a 0 to 2, Hammonds has left the building. Anything else is going to be a flyout. And it's to left and deep. Back goes Berkman, warning track, wall, and a 3-run bomb for Jeffrey Hammonds. All right, so those 2001 Brewers, you can't stop them. You can only hope to contain them. And it's Jose Hernandez now with 2 outs and nobody aboard. By the way, we are keeping track of our reductions in Shane Reynolds' endurance. And you'll see me doing that on the scorecard. We'll look at that in just a minute. But the first thing is after he gives up. So he starts at 11. He's down to 10 because he's allowed a run already. And we'll follow that as we go along. Hernandez up. It's a 90 with a 1 modifier. It's in the out range. The 1 is a pop-up on the infield. Craig Biggio is going to take it for out number 3. But the Brewers get 4 runs in the first on 4 hits. And they don't leave anybody. So we go to the bottom of the first. It's 4-0 Milwaukee. Now I'll show you how I'm keeping track of Reynolds' endurance here. He started at 11. I'm knocking him down to 10 because he's allowed his first run of the game. This is all spelled out for you in the directions, by the way, the pitcher endurance. And he gives up a point after the first run allowed as a starting pitcher. And he gives up a point at the conclusion of an inning of play. So he is down to 9. All right, so we're going to the bottom of the first. But Brewer fans are not breathing easy because Jimmy Haynes gets the start today, and yikes. All right, so it's Lugo, Biggio, and Bagwell coming up in the first for the Astros. 90 with a 0 modifiers, so it's in Haynes' out range, and the 0 is a line drive caught by Jose Hernandez, and there's 1 gone. One thing I was not doing that you do need to do, and I forget to do this all the time with deep drive, and it's my thing. It's not a game problem, but when there's a runner on base, you're supposed to roll again. You're supposed to roll the percentile dice in case there is a wild pitch or a pickoff or a pass ball or a balk. And I always forget to do it. So hopefully I'll remember when there are runners on base. Here's Biggio. Haynes winds and deals. That's a 50 with a 4. So that's going to be a deep drive. So we re-roll our percentile dice on Craig Biggio's deep drive box. That's a 44, and that's going to be corked to center, and that's going to be extra bases. Jeffrey Hammonds is going to run it down, and Biggio has a 1-out double. Here comes Bagwell. All right, so Haynes the stretch, and the delivery to Bagwell is a 43. That's going to be in his out range. It's a 2, and it's a G1H is the result on the outs. A G1H. Now, the chart to look at that is the ground out chart. A G1H with a man on first, which is what man on second. Biggio's on second. Gives us a letter A. So it's a hard grounder hit back to Jimmy Haynes. He gloves it, turns, and throws to Sexton. And that's out number 2. Biggio holds at second, and here comes Berkman. Haynes the stretch and the delivery. You can see the stats, by the way, for the players at the bottom of the card, the last line. This is an 88. It's in Haynes' out range. It's a 5, which is hit hard to Ronnie Belliard. And Belly is going to glove it and throw to Sexton, and that's going to retire the Astros in the first. We've played 1 at Enron, and it's 4-0 Milwaukee. Blanco, Haynes, and Loretta coming up in the Brewers second. All right. And the delivery to Henry Blanco is an 85. That'll be in the out range. That's hit in the air to center. Richard Hidalgo is there. And there's out number one. Now, in the case of Jimmy Haynes, you'll see he has an individual pitcher hitting card. Not every pitcher does. There is a whole sheet that you see here of generic pitcher hitting cards that some will use. So if you see me pulling that out later, that's because a different pitcher is batting. Haynes is up. Reynolds winds and deals. That's a 0-4. And hey, struck him out on the broccoli cauliflower medley. Gas. Shane Reynolds with the heat. Actually, not too much heat. He only struck out 102 batters in 182 innings, but I digress. Here's Mark Loretta, the leadoff man, with 2 outs. A 17. Hey, struck him out, and it's not easy to strike out Loretta. That'll end the Brewers second. We go to the bottom of 2, and it's 4-0 Milwaukee. Jimmy Haynes, we should talk about his endurance. He has an endurance of 10. He went through his first inning, so he's down to a 9. And here we go with the bottom of the second. Hidalgo, Ward, and Osmus coming for the Astros. The pitch from Haynes is a 47. Going to be in Hidalgo's out range. It's a 0. A line drive caught by Ronnie Belliard. And there's 1 down. Darryl Ward coming up now. Not much of a glove for Darryl, but hey, he was out there. Haynes winds and deals to Darryl Ward, and this is going to be what Darryl Ward does best, and that is hit. It's a deep drive for Ward. Going to re-roll our percentile dice. A 75 is going to be extra bases, and a 7 tells us it goes to right field. Burnitz runs it down. Ward cruises into second with a double. A 1-out double for Houston brings up Osmus. The Astros catcher, Haynes the stretch, the pitch to Brad Osmus, is a 54. That's a base hit. Now we go back to the runner chart on hits and see I'm not rolling for that wild pitch and balk thing. I'm terrible at that, and I'm bad at it in other games too. I can think of 2 or 3 other sims that make you do that, and I always forget. All right, so he's very slow. Darryl Ward, among his virtues, was not speed. So let's see what happens here. It's a single plus, very slow. He's going to stop. So it's going to be Astros at first and third with 1 out now for Chris Truby. On deck is Shane Reynolds. There's 1 out. Brewers are going to play for a double play. The pitch to Truby is a 54. That's a base hit. The 6 tells us it goes to center field. Scoring is Ward. A 54 is a single plus. We'll check Osma's speed. He did steal a few bases, but, he's an average runner. Okay, so he's an average runner, so he's going to have that question mark as well. But I'm not going to send him. They're down 3. Doesn't seem to be a good reason to do it. That's going to bring up Shane Reynolds with 1 out. Now, Shane Reynolds also has a hitting card. So he's not getting a generic pitcher hitting card here for that. He was an 077 batter on the 1981 season. And timeout. We're going to look at the bunt chart. So the blue die is going to tell us where the bunt goes, and then we're going to use the result from the card to determine what happens here. All right, so let's see what result we get. Reynolds squares to bunt, and sure enough, we're in an 85. So we're in an out zone. So we look at the out part of the bunt chart, and it is bunted back to the pitcher. The 1 tells us that. Now we're going to re-roll this, and we get an 8. And so it's a sacrifice back to the pitcher. The runners are going to move up to second and third, and there are now 2 outs. So we'll give Haynes the assist and Belliard the put-out covering first. And Osmus goes to third, and Chris Truby goes to second. Now I'm going to remember to do the pitcher thing. The on-base chart, event chart. If I roll a 0 to a 4, we got to roll again. 5 to 99, nothing happens, and nothing happens. All right, so now it's Lugo. Haynes the stretch, checks the runners. The pitch to Julio Lugo is a 64. And that is ball 4. He walked him. So the bases are dripping with Astros with 2 outs here. I want to talk about a certain kind of pitcher that brings the or changes the outcomes here. If Ray King was the pitcher, you look in the upper left corner, you can see that his L, he's a lefty, is circled. And if that's the case, he has the platoon advantage on a left-handed batter. He does not have it on a right-handed batter. So what happens is, against a lefty, King can can increase a result by 50 points to get it on his card. But against a righty, the offensive manager can reduce the total by 50 points. So if Biggio was at the plate against King, and I rolled this, for instance, a 64, could reduce it by 50 to 14, and it'd be a walk, instead of the strikeout that the 64 would give King. So when you see these circled lefty pitching or righty pitching or lefty hitting or righty hitting, that means that the splits can come into play. All right, so it's Biggio now against Haynes with 2 outs. The pitch is an 82. That's in Haynes' out range. That's going to be hit in the air to center. Jeffrey Hammonds with room is going to make the catch, and that will retire the Astros in inning number 2, but they get a run on 3 hits, and after 2, it's a 4-1 Milwaukee lead. Gee, I'd like some more runs. Belliard, Jenkins, and Sexton, the Milwaukee 2, 3, 4 hitters, are coming up in inning number 3. Belly, 1 for 1. The pitch from Reynolds. Also, Haynes finished another inning, so we subtract 1. He's down to 8 now. 8 points. This is a 14, and that's going to be ball 4 to Belliard before he ate his way out of Major League Baseball. Actually, he didn't. He annoyed his way out of Milwaukee. Then he went to St. Louis, and then he ate his way out of baseball. Jenkins at the plate, he's 0 for 1. Reynolds, the stretch, and the delivery to Jenks is a 55, and there's a base hit. Now, we know from before that Belliard's fast, so he's going to go to third. There's going to be Brewers at the corners with nobody out in the third. Reynolds is in trouble again, so I'm going to start some action in the Houston bullpen. And I don't really know these guys too well, except I do remember Nelson Cruz, so we're going to get him going. And that's sort of my house rule. is that in any sim I do, a reliever's got to be going for 2 batters before you can bring him in. That's not a deep drive rule, but that's my own personal house rule. Reynolds, the stretch, the pitch to Sexton. Infield is back, by the way. 87 is going to be in the out range of 5. Is a G4H. So that's going to be a grounder hit to Biggio, and it's an H, which means it's hit hard. Now we have runners on first and third. G4H gives us a K letter result. The K letter, runner on first, is out on the front end of a double play. So it's hit to Biggio. He goes to Lugo for 1, and the relay to Bagwell is in time for a rally-killing, soul-crushing 4-6-3 double play. But Belliard scores from third, and it's 5-1 Milwaukee. Here's Brunitz. So with 2 outs and nobody aboard, it's Bernie. 46 is in the out range, and a 6 is a G4H, which is the same as before. It's hit to Biggio. He throws to Bagwell, and that'll retire the Brewers in the third. They get a run on a hit. We go to the bottom of the third, and it's 5-1 Milwaukee. In the Houston third, while we wait for the floor to drop out from underneath Jimmy Haynes, we have the meat of the Astros order: Jeff Bagwell, Lance Berkman, and Richard Hidalgo. I'm still wondering what happened to Richard Hidalgo. Haynes winds and deals. That is a 0-4, so we're on Bagwell's deep drive chart. We're going to put the 6 over here and re-roll our deep drive. And there's an 81. That will be a double, and the 6 tells us that it's to center field. Jeffrey Hammond's going to run it down, and Baggy cruises into second base with a leadoff double in the third. Here comes Berkman. Haynes the stretch, and I want you to notice also, by the way, if I can just interrupt play for a moment, I have resisted the temptation all game to make underwear jokes about Jimmy Haynes, and I think I deserve some credit for that one, my friends. I am not making any guarantees for the rest of this game. 33, hey, struck him out on the broccoli cauliflower medley with a little nacho cheese and some of those delicious breadcrumbs. First strikeout for Haynes, and here comes Hidalgo. Speaking of strikeouts, Haynes the stretch on the delivery is a 50, which is not good news. That's on Haynes' deep drive chart. Result. And so we're going to look at Hidalgo. It's a 28. The 3 tells us it's to left and deep. But the cross tells us we need our Enron Field ballpark card. So back goes Jeff Jenkins, one of my all-time favorite Brewers, but it's going to actually be caught by Jeffrey Hammonds in left center field, and Hidalgo with one more biscuit for breakfast would have gotten a 2-run bomb. But no, so we have Darrell Ward coming to the plate, a platoon guy if ever there was one. Haynes, the stretch and the delivery to Ward is a 70. And hey, struck him out on a bender. Second strikeout for Haynes. Look at who's becoming Mr. Strikeout. We've played 3. It's Milwaukee 5 and Houston 1. All right, so Shane Reynolds going to try and get himself under control here in the Brewer 4th. He'll face Hammonds, Jose Hernandez, and Henry Blanco. Hammonds with a 3-run bomb in the first. The pitch from Reynolds is a 49. That'll be in Hammonds' out range. A 3 is hit on the ground to Chris Truby. Truby to his left gloves it and fires to Bagwell for out number 1 in the 4th. Here comes Jose Hernandez, who's 0 for 1 today. Reynolds kicks and deals. And 80 is going to be in Reynolds' out zone. A 6 is a shot hit to Lugo at short. He cuts it off from going up the middle. Plants and throws to Bagwell for out number 2. Now it's Henry Blanco. 0 for 1 for Henry today. It's a 57, and there's a base hit. The 9 tells us it's to right field, and the Brewers have a 2-out single, which is good because it's going to allow them to clear Jimmy Haynes here in the 4th inning. Reynolds the stretch and the pitch to Haynes. That's a 72, and that's going to be a defense check. I don't know if we've had one today. So we're going to go to our defense chart. And here it is. All right, so we're rolling our percentile dice. And it's a 10, or sorry, excuse me, 12, which says roll again on the error chart. If it's a 0 to a 40, we're rolling again on the error chart. The error chart, we don't have to look for it. It's right here. We're re-rolling the percentile dice. It's a 31. Now, we're going to check our catcher's fielding rating. Brad Ausmus is a 5. It didn't get much better when Brad Ausmus was in the league than Brad Ausmus behind the plate. A 31 is going to be tapped out in front of home plate. A G2S. Now, the question on America's mind, of course, what in the world is a G2S? Well, I'm going to tell you, of course. But where's the right thing? Time. Oh, I remember now. Okay, so a G2S, so it's tapped out in front of home plate slowly. So that means that the runners are going to get to advance if there were less than 2 outs, but there aren't. So Ausmus is going to fire down to Bagwell, and that's going to retire the crew in inning number 4. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 5-1 Brewers. Haynes. We got to update our endurance points now. Haynes has allowed a run. So he gets a loss of 1 for that. He's finished 3 innings, so he gets 3 other deductions. So he's down to a 6. Shane Reynolds, for his part, has allowed a run, and he's finished 4. So he's down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's down to 6 as well. All right, here we go with Brad Ausmus, Chris Truby, and Shane Reynolds in the bottom of the 4th for Houston. 54 is going to be a base hit off of Haynes. Goes into left field. And Ausmus is aboard with a leadoff single. Here comes Chris Truby. Brewer infield hoping for a double play. The pitch from Haynes is a 99. That's in his out range. That's hit to center. It's going to drive Hammonds back a few steps, but he's got room, and there's 1 away now. Shane Reynolds at the plate. We're going to come here and try and do the bunt again. He bunted successfully in inning number 2. We've got our bunt chart ready to go. And here we go. It's a 9, so it's bunted toward Mark Loretta at third. We rolled a 51. And that is going to be a deep drive, actually. The result from the batter card, pop out, lead runner, double up. It's not. It's from the pitcher card. Fielder handles the bunt quickly. If any runners are forced ahead, the lead runner is out. Otherwise, runners hold and batter is out. Well, the runner is forced. So Loretta's going to field it and go to Belliard at second for the force out. That's all they're going to get. Shane Reynolds beats the rap at first. he bunts into a fielder's choice. And with 2 outs now, it's Lugo. Lugo, the batter. The pitch from Haynes is ball 4. He walked him. So there's 2 Astros aboard now with 2 outs. And Biggio at the plate. Craig Biggio in 2001 hit 20 homers. Haynes the stretch, the delivery to the 1-for-2 Biggio, and that is exactly what we didn't want. That's going to be a deep drive. Looking on Biggio's deep drive chart, it's going to be a lot of extra bases to center field. It's going to bounce up on Tal's Hill. Remember that? Jeffrey Hammonds has to run it down. Reynolds will score. Lugo will score all the way from first. Biggio on his way to third. The relay from Hernandez to Loretta is not in time. Biggio has a sliding triple, and it's 5-3 Brewers in the bottom of the 4th. We got a slugfest going on at Enron. Where? At Enron. Okay, so with 2 outs, it's Bagwell. Haynes the stretch, and the delivery is a 31 to Baggy. High, struck him out. Baked beans, gas. A very fired up Jimmy Haynes just blew away a Hall of Famer. We go to the 5th with your score, Milwaukee 5, Houston 3, and things have tightened considerably at Enron. Loretta, Belliard, and Jenkins, the top of the Milwaukee order in the 5th. We're going to subtract another point for Haynes. He's down to 5. So we're going to take a moment here and talk about pitcher fatigue. If we suppose that Reynolds was fatigued, he's not. He has a ways to go yet. But if he was, the offensive manager could choose at any point to subtract 50 from a roll on Reynolds' card. It's just like the platoon advantage, the platoon specialist with the circled either batting or pitching hand. The offensive manager could elect to subtract 50. So, for example, if we, let's say we have a 65, for instance. No, 66. Let's do a 66. So if we roll a 66, it's a strikeout on Reynolds' card. But if he's fatigued, we can subtract 50. That knocks it down to a 16, and all of a sudden he hits Loretta with a pitch, and Mark is aboard. So that's the penalty for pitching while fatigued. Loretta leads off the 5th. Here we go. And it's a 14. And that's ball 4. Loretta takes his base. We have a leadoff runner in the 5th. Belliard coming to the plate. He's 1 for 1 with a walk. He has scored twice and generally outperformed his ability. Reynolds, the stretch, the delivery is a 23 to Belly, and high, struck him out on a bender. 3rd strikeout for Reynolds. 1 gone in the 5th. Here comes Jenks. Reynolds, the stretch, the delivery, it's a 15. High, struck out Jenkins. 2 down in the 5th. Reynolds has it going on. He's got a little strut. He's walking around the mound. Here's Richie. 45 bombs on the season. The pitch to him. Hey, struck out the side. Shane Reynolds with 102 strikeouts on the year just blew away the Brewers. We're halfway through this one. We got a good one. And at Enron. Where? At Enron Field. With your score, Milwaukee 5 and Houston 3. We're going to subtract another point from Shane Reynolds' endurance and go to the bottom of the 5th, where it'll be Berkman, Hidalgo, and Ward. 4, 5, 6 hitters. Here's a look at your scoreboard. And we got the 4, 5, 6 hitters coming for Houston in inning number 5. Berkman's 0 for 2. The pitch is a 15. That's a base hit for Berkman. The 7 tells us it goes to right, so Jeremy Burnitz throws it back in. Hidalgo comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Haynes the stretch. The pitch to Hidalgo is an 84. That's a 3. Ground ball to first. It's slowly hit. So Richie's going to glove it and take it himself to the bag. Berkman moves up to second base. And Ward comes up. And no sign of the Beaver. Haynes, the stretch, and the pitch. I have been waiting to say that all game. And again, exercising restraint, my friends. Exercising restraint. But the restraint is about out the window. 45 is an out on Ward's card, and 8 is hit to left. Jenkins is there, so Berkman's going to hold, and there's 2 down for Brad Ausmus. Chris Truby would be next. We're in the bottom of the 5th, 5-3 Milwaukee. The pitch is going to be a deep drive, and that's Brad Ausmus, who's having a day. This is going to be to center, and it's going to be extra bases for Ausmus. Scoring easily is going to be Berkman. Ausmus around first. Hammonds throws towards second, but Ausmus is into second base standing, and it's a 5-4 Milwaukee lead. Now we've got Truby coming up. Reynolds would be next, and all of a sudden, Houston's back in the game. Now, I could walk Truby here and go after Reynolds, but Chris Truby hit 206 with a crisp 207 on-base percentage. So I'm going to thank my lucky stars that Chris Truby is at the plate, and we're going to pitch to him. The pitch from Haynes is an 89. That's in his out zone. A 5 is hit on the ground to Ronnie Belliard. To his left, he gloves it, throws to Sexton, and that will retire the Astros in inning number 5. We go to the 6th, and the Brewers are clinging to a 5-4 lead. We're going to subtract another point from Haynes, and it'll be Burnitz, Hammonds, and Hernandez, 5, 6, 7 batters in the Brewers' order in inning number 6. Bernie is 1 for 2. The pitch to him from Reynolds is a 65. He walked him. There's a big insurance run for the Crew. Now let's see if what they want Hammonds to do here. I think we're going to have him hit away. I don't know if 5 runs is going to win the game. I don't think 6 runs is going to win this game. So let's see here. Hammonds hit a 3-run homer in the first. Reynolds, the stretch and the delivery is a 40. That's going to be in Hammond's out range. A 9 is hit to center. Richard Hidalgo is going to make the catch for out number 1. Burnitz holds at first, and here's Jose Hernandez. Reynolds, the stretch and the delivery is a 57. That's a base hit. Now we'll check Burnitz's running. He wasn't slow, but he wasn't fast either. He's an average runner. And that means if we look at our chart, that means that he's going to get a question mark there. So we could push it and go for an extra base. So I think we're going to do that very thing. It's called a choice chart. We need our percentile dice. We're over here. Burnitz is trying for third. And it's to center field, so Hidalgo is going to fire to Chris Truby. Now, we rolled a 2. The runner is called safe after a collision at the base. Roll again to check to injuries to players involved. It's an 80. Both runner and fielder covering the base are shaken up, but neither is injured. So, Burnitz gets to third safely. There's Brewers at the corners, and there's only one out for Henry Blanco. Jimmy Haynes would be next. So the Astros are going to get Nelson Cruz throwing again in the bullpen. And he's going to need some time to warm up, but Shane Reynolds may be near the end here. Blanco hit only .210 in 2001. He's a huge double play possibility, although they give him credit for being an average runner. I remember watching Henry Blanco run. They used a calendar, actually, to measure his speed from first to third. Okay, so Blanco is 1 for 2. Reynolds the stretch. They're going to play for a double play and try and get out of this. The pitch is a 77. That's in the out range. A 2 is hit slowly to first. All right, so G3S is an H. Bagwell is going to glove it, and he is going to take it to the bag himself, and that will score Burnitz from third. Advancing to second is Hernandez, and here comes Jimmy Haynes. Want to talk about playing the infield in. What would have happened on that play if I had played the infield in? Well, lineouts become singles. Slow and hard groundouts result in the runner on third holding unless they are forced ahead. Regular groundouts and the runner result in the runner on third being thrown out at the plate. So if I had played him in, the slow groundout where they would have had to hold. Okay. In at the corners, which I could have done too, would have just resulted in the same thing. The runner on third, Burnitz, would have had to hold. Jimmy Haynes is due, and I'm just going to thank the Lord we got through 5 innings of Jimmy Haynes and send a pinch hitter up there to try and deliver Jose Hernandez from third base. In the bullpen for Milwaukee, I'm going to get Mike Dejan throwing. He will be the new Brewer pitcher in the bottom of the 6th. The pinch hitter is going to be Tyler Houston. So Houston will bat for Haynes. Let's tell you about Jimmy's final numbers here. Haynes went 5 innings. He allowed 6, 8, 9 hits. He walked 1. He struck out 3. He allowed 4 runs. They're all earned. He cannot lose this game. He could win it. The score right now is 6-4 Milwaukee. The pitch from Reynolds to Houston is a 60, and that's going to be a base hit. A base hit for Tyler Houston. All right, so now we have an average runner on third because Blanco goes from second to third. This says no. But with 2 outs, shift 1 column to the right. So Blanco goes from being average to being fast. It's a straight single. And we get a choice. And I am choosing to try and send Henry Blanco home. So we get our choice chart. and our percentile dice and roll them. It's a 69. And we're going to check our roll against the speed of the runner to see if he's safe or out. All right, so we're still advanced to the right from average to fast, and we're going to re-roll. Oh, no, we don't. No, we don't. So he's in there. He is safe. Blanco scores because it was a 40-something, and he's in there. So Tyler Houston delivers Henry Blanco from second base, and it's 7-4 Milwaukee. That'll bring up Loretta. And Shane Reynolds is in all kinds of problems now because he has allowed 7 runs. There's nothing additional for that, but we got to get him out of there. One more batter, and then I can hit for him to lead off the 6th. The pitch to Loretta is a 70 with a 4, so that's going to be a defense check. So we get our defense chart. It seems like there's a lot of charts. There really aren't. I'm pulling out the same couple of charts every time, and that's why it looks like this. But defense chart is right here. We roll our percentile dice, and we've got a 0-1, which is going to put us on the error chart. It's a 41, and we have to check the first baseman for his fielding. That's to Bagwell. Baggy's fielding is a 4 right there. And so a 41 with a 4, it's going to be a 1-base error on Bagwell. The wheels are falling off the Astros cart here at Enron. So he's got an E3 that puts Loretta on, and that means Belliard comes to the plate. And I said this before, but one more batter, and here comes Belly. Reynolds the stretch and the delivery, and this is a deep drive for Belly. Are you kidding me? He hasn't had a game like this since T-ball. The deep drive is gonna be a double to right. Running it down in the corner, as scary as this is Darrell Ward. Scoring is Houston. Let's see if Loretta can score. His speed is also average. And we bump it 1 to fast with 2 outs, so he's a choice chart. We're going to waive him. We're going to wave Loretta home, trying to score all the way from first base. It's a 41. He's safe. A big 2-run double for Ronnie Belliard extends the Brewer lead to 9-4, and that's going to do it. They can't leave him out there anymore. Cruz is coming on. We're going to make a double switch for Houston. Truby is going to be out. Nelson Cruz is coming in. He'll bat 8th. And we're going to get a new Astros third baseman, and that will be Vinny Castilla. And he will bat 9th and lead off the bottom of the 6th if the Astros can ever get the Brewers out here in the top of the inning. All right, so Cruz is our new pitcher. Let's tell you about him. 28 years old, 3-3 record with a 4.15 ERA, 66 games, 82 innings in 2001. There's his card. All right, Shane Reynolds, a disastrous day. 5 2/3 innings, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 hits allowed. He walked 2, he struck out 5. He allowed 9 runs, but 7 were earned. No, that's not true. 6 were earned. And although that doesn't make it much better. And here comes Jenkins, righty-lefty matchup. Belliard's on second. A 4-run 6 for Milwaukee. It's 9-4 Milwaukee. And the pitch is a 99 on Cruz's card. That'll be in the out range. It's hit in the air to right. Darrell Ward over by the right field line is going to make the catch, and that's going to retire Milwaukee in the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and the score, 9-4 Brewers. The new pitcher is Mike Dejan. No sign of mustard anywhere. You're welcome. And he was 4-2 with a 2.77 ERA in 75 games. He's going to bat in the number 9 spot. And his endurance, as you can see, is a 1. All right, so he's got Castillo, Lugo, and Biggio looming in his future. And here's the first pitch from Dejan. It's a 96, so that's in the out range. A line draw, nope, a pop-up. Ronnie Belliard on the infield dirt is going to take it for out number 1. Julio Lugo is 0 for 1. Dejan kicks and deals. It's a 44. That'll be in the out range for Lugo. Pitcher. And it's a pop-up in the middle infield. So we have a PM here. Pop-up in the middle infield. If the ones die is even, it's a pop-up to Belliard. If it's odd, it's a pop-up to Hernandez. Well, it's even, so it's another pop-up to Belly, and there's 2 outs. Here's Biggio. He's 2 for 3. The pitch to Craig is a 90 with a 5 in the out range. Hit on the ground to Jose Hernandez. He cuts it off from going up the middle. Plants and throws to Richie Sexson for out number 3 in the 6th. Now we have an opportunity to talk about relief pitcher endurance. So first of all, they get a point for, 3, that doesn't apply. Here we go. +1 for a reliever who enters mid-inning and records the 3rd out having faced 2 or fewer batters without allowing a base runner. All right. So if they come in the middle of an inning and they get out of it cleanly, they get a +1. Dejan did not do that. So it'll be we're going to reduce Dejan to a 0 as a result because you lose a point at the conclusion of an inning of play. So Dejan goes down to a 0. If I continue to pitch him next inning, he will be fatigued. All right, we go to the 7th. Now, Cruz, we didn't talk about his endurance. But he's a little different because he has endurance of a 2. So we are going to, he got out of the inning cleanly, so he's going to get a +1. The inning ends, but he gets one back because he came in and got out of it cleanly. So he's still at a 2. And he will face Sexson, Burnitz, and Hammonds, the 4, 5, 6 Brewer hitters, in the top of the 7th. All right. Richie is 1 for 3. It's an 83. That's going to be in Cruz's out range. Hit on the ground to Craig Biggio. He throws to Bagwell for out number 1. 9-4 Milwaukee. This is deep drive baseball. Cruz kicks and deals to Burnitz. That's going to be also in the out range for Cruz. A 3 is hit on the ground to Baggy. He gloves it to his right. He's going to feed Cruz covering, and there's 2 down. And now Hammonds. 1 for 3 for Jeffrey. The pitch to him is a 33. That's going to be in Jeffrey's out range. And it's grounded to Biggio. He throws to Bagwell, and that will end the inning. So now we do subtract 1 from Cruz. He's down to a 1. Might be pinch hitting for him this inning anyway, but he would not be fatigued if we bring him back out. I'm going to try and get another inning out of Dejan here and show you what happens when a pitcher pitches who is fatigued in action here. But I'm also going to get the Brewer bullpen up. Ray King and Chad Fox are throwing. It's lefty-righty double-barreled action, just the way Davey Lopes likes it whenever he's in Houston. And here we go with Dejan to Bagwell. A 27, so we can't do anything about that. You can't subtract 50 from 27, so we're on the hitter card already. And hey, struck him out. 1 down in the Astros' 7th. Berkman now. He is 1 for 3. That's a 77, so now we can subtract. It goes, if we do that, a 77, which is a defense check, goes down to 27, and that would be a strikeout. So they're going to choose to not do that and do the defense check instead. And the defense check is here. Percentile dice at the ready. There we are. And it's a 0-0, which puts us again on the error chart. And 82 is going to be a fly to the left fielder. Now, the left fielder for the Brewers is Jeff Jenkins, and he was a pretty good one. He is a 4. So now we take our 82 and look at the 4, and it's an F7, so he's going to make the catch for out number 2. Richard Hidalgo at the plate now, and he is 0 for 3. Is a 12, and that's going to be a walk. So a 2-out walk brings up Ward. No sign of Wally. And now I could go to King here. This is kind of why I got Ray King up in the first place. But if I do that, then the Astros are going to counter with a pinch hitter, and it's going to be Moises Salou, and that's going to be all kinds of bad things. So we're going to go to Dejan, leave him in for one more hitter. Osmus would be next. The pitch is a 0-0, and that's a deep drive. That is definitely a deep drive. So this is a 25, which will take us to the Enron Field card. And we roll our D10. Under it is Jeffrey Hammonds. He's deep. He's in front of Tal's Hill, but he's going to make the catch for out number 3. So I did what I don't recommend, and that is pitch a pitcher when he's fatigued, but I got away with it. We go to the 8th with your score, Milwaukee 9 and Houston 4. Cruz is due up second next inning, so we're not going to worry about taking him out right now. Try and get another inning out of him. And it's going to be Hernandez, Blanco, and Dejan's spot, so I'll be batting for Dejan and get him out of there. Here in the 8th, Cruz to Jose Hernandez. That's an 89. That's an outrange for Cruz's card. The 8 tells us it's hitting the air to left, high but not deep. Lance Berkman is there, and there's 1 down. Here's Blanco. 1 for 3 for Henry. 35 is in Henry's outrange. A 3 is hit on the ground to Vinny Castilla, who gloves it by the bag and fires to Bagwell for out number 2. Now it's Dejan, and I'm going to take the opportunity to get him out of there. The pinch hitter is going to be Mark Sweeney. He is a left-handed pinch hitting specialist. And he gets that platoon advantage because Cruz is a righty. And he's got his lefty circled there. Cruz winds and deals. That's a 79. That's in the outrange. And now we can subtract 50. So that'll knock it down to 29, but it's a strikeout, so we don't want that either. So the platoon advantage or the fatigue thing, it works sometimes. It doesn't work other times. It depends. You can get away with it, is my point. A 79 will keep it as a defense check on Cruz's card because that's better than a strikeout. All right, so the defense chart is right here. Roll our percentile dice, and we get a 38. That's going to take us to the error chart. That's a 93 on the error chart. So to do that, we're going to look here, and that's going to be the center fielder's fielding rating. Well, that's Richard Hidalgo, and he was a 3 on his fielding rating. So we roll a 93, and he drops the ball. And two-base error for Hidalgo. The wheels are off the Astros cart here at Enron. Sweeney into second base on the two-base error by Hidalgo, and here comes Loretta. My question is, for you to consider, if Loretta comes out and they don't want him to hit, do they say, "Get back, Loretta"? Get back, Loretta. All right, here we go. 0 for 3. The pitch is a base hit for Mark Loretta. Are we going to try and score Sweeney? He is very slow. Well, just for fun. Let's see what happens. Now, very slow, we know we got 2 outs. So very slow is going to turn into just ordinary slow. It's an 0-8, which is a straight single. So very slow goes to slow, but he does not advance. He stops at third. All right, so first and third, Brewers at the corners. Cruz trying to get out of the 8th. Here's Ronnie Belliard. That is a 38 in Belliard's out zone. It's a 6. It's hit on the ground to Lugo. He's going to go the short way to Biggio covering at second base, and that's going to retire the crew in inning number 8. We go to the bottom of 8 with your score. Milwaukee 9, Houston 4. Dejan is done. You can stick a fork in him, but he did a good job. So kudos for Mike Dejan, who got into an ugly fight with Jerry Royster on the mound when Royster was trying to take him out. I think this was in 2002. Royster had taken over for Lopes, who had been canned. And Royster came out at some point. It wasn't right after the firing, but at some point, Royster came out to talk to Dejan, and Dejan just blew him up. It was just really ugly. Anyway, Dejan is gone. After 2 innings, he walked 1, he struck out 1, didn't allow any runs. Chad Fox will take over on the mound for Milwaukee. His endurance is also a 1. He will bat 9th. And he will get Osmus, pinch hitter for Cruz, and then Vinny Castilla in the Astros 8th inning. All right, so Ausmus is 3 for 3. Now, ordinarily, I would think about hitting for him here, but he's 3 for 3. So I'm going to let him bat. All right, so the pitch from Fox to Ausmus. Cruz is in the on-deck circle, but he's not going to bat. The pitch is an 87. That's in Fox's outrange. A line drive caught by Belly. 1 down in the 8th. Now Cruz goes back to the dugout. And he is done. He went 2 1/3 innings, allowed a hit and no runs. So he did his job. Astros have played a horrible defense. The pinch hitter is going to be Orlando Merced for Cruz. And a pitcher has started to throw in the Astros bullpen, who will do the 9th inning for the Astros. And it is... oh, boy, it's Ron Vallone, RV. I'll tell you about him in just a minute. Merced with 1 out and nobody on. The pitch from Fox is a 50. That's a deep drive. Not good. Fox is 5-2 with a 189 in 2001. He had a slider that was nasty. And Merced hits it to left and deep. But first, with the cross, we have to look at our Enron Field card. And it's gone for Merced. A pinch hit bomb off Chad Fox. And it's 9-5 Milwaukee. Here comes Vinny Castilla. Now that, let's see. I got to double check this to make sure I'm staying on top of things. Okay, so he doesn't lose a point yet. Nope, he doesn't lose it yet. Castilla, the pitch is a 26. Defense check. And here's our defense chart. Move that up here. Roll our percentile dice. It's a 69. And it's to Hernandez at short. Jose Hernandez is a 3 rated shortstop. A 69 is hit on the ground to Hernandez. He's going to make the play to Richie Sexson. And there's 2 down in the Astros 8th. And here comes Lugo. Julio 0 for 2 today. The pitch. 89 will be in Fox's outrange. The 9 is hit to center, but not deep. In comes Hammonds. He puts it away for out number 3, and we go to the Astros get a run on the pinch hit homer by Merced. We go to the 9th, and it's Milwaukee 9 and Houston 5. The game plays really easily, and that's why I like it. You get a sense that there's realism going on here. I'm pretty confident about the stats. So it's good stuff. I like deep drive. Ron Vallone will be the new pitcher for the Astros. Ron Vallone was a left-hander that was in the Milwaukee organization for a while. In 2001, he wasn't too good. He was 6-10 with a 589. He had 53 games, 114 innings. Ron Vallone is one of those odd lefties who is actually better against righties, but he's the only lefty the Astros have at this moment. And he's in to face Jenkins. You'll notice he doesn't have a circle here, which tells you he's not a lefty. He's not like a loogie, a lefty specialist, and that reflects the fact that Vallone is better against righties than lefties. But he's facing Jenkins now. Sexton is next, and then it'll be Burnitz, lefty, righty, lefty. So it seems like a good match for Vallone. 9-5 Brewers were in the top of the 9th. The pitch is a 92. That's in Vallone's outrange. It's hit in the air to left. Over toward the line is Lance Berkman, and there's 1 out. Here's Richie Sexson. Vallone to Sexton is a 68. He walked him. 1 out, 1 on for Milwaukee, and here comes Bernie. Burnitz is 1 for 3. He's scored 2 runs. He's driven in 1. We have a lefty-lefty matchup. The pitch is a 65. He walks Burnitz. There's 2 on now. Do I need to get the Astros bullpen going down 4? Well, I'm going to, and I'll tell you why. The Brewers can gag up a lead like no other in 2001. So Mike Williams is going to start to throw in the Astros pen. Jeffrey Hammonds comes to the plate. He's 1 for 4. That 3-run homer in the first was huge, though. The pitch from Vallone. The Astros are playing for a double play. It's a 65, and he walks Hammonds. The bases are dripping with Brewers, and this may be the last hitter for Vallone. This was Vallone's problem, was control. They're going to play in now, I guess. But now they'll play back up the middle and in at the corners. The pitch, 96. That's in his out range. A pop-up. Just barely on the outfield grass is Craig Biggio, and there's 2 down. That brings up Blanco. Now, I could go to Williams here, but I'm not going to. Blanco's a pretty bad hitter. Fox is standing in the on-deck circle, but nobody believes that's going to happen if it comes to it. The pitch is a 21, and hey, struck out Blanco. Boy, I hope that doesn't end up costing me. The Brewers leave the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the 9th with the score. Milwaukee 9, Houston 5. Biggio, Bagwell, and Berkman coming on. I'm going to try and get Fox to finish this game. He is fatigued. Throwing in the bullpen for Milwaukee is King and their closer, Kurt Leskanik. All right, so lefty-righty double-barreled action again for Davey Lopes in the Brewers bullpen. For the Astros in the 9th, it's Biggio, Bagwell, and Berkman. I think I said that. The pitch from Fox is a 36. You can't subtract 50 from that, so it's going to be hit on the ground to Mark Loretta at third. He gloves it to his left, throws to Sexton, and there's 1 gone in the Astros 9th. Here's Bagwell, 1 for 4. Pitch from Fox is a 98. We can subtract 50 from that. But that gets us into the Bagwell's out range, so that doesn't solve anything. It's hit in the air to right. Burnitz in his tracks will make the catch, and that makes Lance Berkman the last chance saloon for Houston. Brewers 9, Astros 5, and the pitch is a 97, and that also doesn't get us anywhere. If we subtract 50, it's a comebacker to Fox. He's going to take a couple steps towards Sexton, and that will retire the Astros and end the ball game. Let's give you the totals on this Brewers victory, and there aren't going to be a lot of them in this replay, I can tell you. For the victorious and visiting Milwaukee Brewers, 9 runs, 10 hits, and they committed no errors. The Astros, 5 runs, 10 hits. They had chances, and they committed 2 errors. Both of them, well, one of them was costly. Winning pitcher is Jimmy Haynes. He's going to go to 1-0 on the replay. The loser is Shane Reynolds. No save. The MVP of the game, well, I'm going to give the MVP of this ball game to I guess Jeffrey Hammonds. That 3-run homer set the tone for the game, and the Brewers never looked back from the first inning. This is Deep Drive Baseball. I'm going to put the link for the game in the description for this video, along with the link for channel membership. something for you to consider. Discounts on the secondary store that I do pretty much every month. Also, members-only exclusive videos about the hobby, about World Series replays. A whole lot of stuff for you archived, and a free gift from me every month in the form of a PDF of teams that I create for different sims. So, have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me. So long, everybody.